So, did you hear about the woman that made $5 million overnight? Yeah, me neither. Because no one makes $5 million overnight. Not unless you're in real estate, I don't know, maybe the stock market. Oh yeah, no one's making money in the stock market now. Maybe Sunrun. You don't even have a gazillion and one chances of winning the lottery. And you know, when I started Ambit Energy, I didn't have a goal to make $5 million. In fact, I didn't even have a goal to make $1 million. I just wanted enough money to take my income, retire my income, and my husband. That's all I wanted to do. And that's a pretty ambitious goal, wouldn't you say, to even replace your income and retire a husband? Now, he's low maintenance. It would have been a lot to retire me, but I've got to send him to golf every day. And you probably have some ambitious goals, too. I don't care if it's just you want enough extra money to make a car payment, a house payment, pay off all those credit cards. I had a friend that personally paid off 9 credit cards with her Ambit money. And so that's all important and very ambitious. You might want to send your kids to college. I know it's very expensive. After I spent $100,000 sending my son David to college, he joined Ambit Energy. And I said to him, I'm really proud of you, but couldn't you have gotten to network marketing before I spent $100,000? You know, there's 2 things that I want to share with you on this journey, and that is that it takes time. It's a process. You can't do it overnight. It takes coaching, being mentored, overcoming adversity, rejections, objections, and most of important, it is that you, all of you out there, can never surrender. You can never wave that white flag and stand up there and say, I surrender, I quit, I can't do it, you beat me. You cannot let your financial freedom goal beat you. And the second thing is, let me think of the second thing. The first thing is that you cannot overcome objections, right? You've got to learn to overcome objections. The second thing, that it takes experience, okay? So I got plenty of experience for y'all, right? I started working when I was 18, and I started at the bottom, and I got a man's job. And then I was so ambitious that I sold that perfume stuff, you know, up and down, you know what company I'm talking about. And I was a waitress at Jack in the Box. And then I got really good and I became a real waitress. And then I even had a worm farm. Okay, some of you heard the story, but I'm going to tell you some details today. And you're like, what in the heck, she had a worm farm? Yes, when I was very young and just married, my husband and I wanted to make some extra money. And so what we did is we were looking in the paper, and there was this ad to earn extra money. And so we thought, we'll go and find out what it's about. So we went to someone's house that we didn't even know. And what we did was it was a worm seminar. What is a worm seminar? Well, I'll tell you. They wanted us to spend $750, and that was a lot of money way back then. And what we did is you bought these worms, and you put them in this bed. It's 4x8 bed of worms. Actually, Frank had to make the bed, and we'd put the bag of worms in it. And then what would happen is they would multiply when you fed them. You had to feed them every day. So you started with 1 bed, and then you got 2 beds, and you fed them some more, and you got 4 beds, and you fed them some more, and then you had 8 and 16, and then, you know, this was my first attempt at network marketing at the time. I didn't realize it, but it was the power of duplication. And we really could multiply worms. And then, I think we were up to like 24 beds in our little backyard. And we were supposed to sell them. The Japanese were going to buy them, and feed the trash for ecology. That was what we were going to do. I mean, we were dead serious on it, and we knew how to grow the worms. And then guess what happened? The company went out of business. And then we were left with all these worms. But I found out something, that if you quit feeding the worms, they went away. Because then you didn't have. Hey, it's another network marketing principle. If you quit feeding your team, they go away. So you always learn things with every experience. Everything that you've done to this point, to this day where you are at right now, brings you to this period. And even though I was a failure I wasn't a failure at raising worms, but although I was a failure at my first business experience, I learned something. I learned that I really loved being an entrepreneur. But you know what? It was 30 years later before I found Ambit Energy. But all the experiences that I had, even from walking a block to raising worms, brought me to where I stand today. And you don't have to you're saying, do I have to have a worm farm? Do I have to have all those experiences she's having? No. Whatever you've had, whatever successes, whatever failures you've had in your life, that is going to reap all the benefits for you here. So the two things that I've learned that I think why I'm successful in Ambit Energy today is that, one, I had a great why, and we already talked about that, but you must have that why. I wanted to retire my husband. I wanted to have enough money to do that, and I lived with that every single day until it happened. But the second thing was that I treated my $429 business like it was big business. Some of you didn't even have to pay an investment. Some of you got in for zero. And guess what? You're treating your investment like it's a zero investment, right? But every day, I treated that like it was a big business. And when you do that, pretty soon it becomes a big business. Because let me tell you, your income is in direct proportion to how you treat your investment. That return on investment is going to come to you on how much time you put into it, how you work your investment. So you've got to realize if you want to treat it like a zero investment, you want to treat it like a $429 investment, that is what it's going to be. And that is a key, a secret to how I became successful treating that business. So before I close, I've told the little worm story before, and people say, oh, I don't believe it. She's exaggerating. So I wanted to just prove to you that, there's the worm farm. I mean, those are the owners of the worm farm, Long's Long Life. Those are the beds in my backyard. And then they multiplied. And there's my husband constructing the beds. He looks happy, doesn't he? There's me with the little worm. And I was so happy. Look at me. I got the smile on my face. And because I said, I hate worms. I hate insects. But man, every time I picked one up, I was like, you are worth $1 million. I had that mindset. I swear I thought I was going to make millions on these worms. I am not exaggerating. Look, there's the pictures. And the reason I'm showing that is because I truly, truly want you to understand what you have. You have a big business here. Do not treat it like it's this little $400 business. It's $1 million business, and I'm telling you what I want you to do. Instead of raising that flag and saying, I surrender, I can't do it anymore, I want you to raise your flag, your financial flag of freedom, and I want you to keep going, and I want you to keep raising it and raising it and raising it. You wave it high to everyone and say, I'm going to get my financial freedom. I am going to win this game. I am not going to surrender. That's what I want for you today. And every one of you can have it.